Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon and good evening. I'm so happy today because I've got a friend coming from down under, and Stan is going to talk to us about how to get unstuck. But before we start, and thank you, Stan, for being here, I would like to introduce Stan Nelson. So Stan was born and raised in country Western Australia. He arrived in Perth to complete secondary high school and do tertiary education. He's been married for 22 years and has two lovely boys, aged 12 and 8. He started martial arts and he's been training as a teacher, martial arts and self-defense for nearly 30 years. He works as an outdoor recreation leader and laser tag marshal. He's also a scout leader, taking kids camping, and he's been hiking for 14 years. Stan has been doing personal growth and development for over 28 years. He started his coaching journey in 2019. He helps positive-minded people who are moving up, changing roles at crossroads, or feeling stuck, create an extraordinary life. In a challenging world, he helps you to find your path, navigate your way, overcome obstacles, keep you paddling, and build a ladder to the next level. So welcome, Stan. And I know that today you're going to get to tell us and to give us some tips about how to get unstuck. So welcome, Stan.
Thanks, Isabel. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
My pleasure.
And I'm coming all the way from Perth, Western Australia, which is about 30 hours in front of you.
It's quite late. It is 10:30 p.m. at your end.
Yes, lucky I don't go to bed until like midnight. So.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, I'm so happy to have you. I know we've been partners in coaching sessions for a while now. And so tell us a little bit about how to get unstuck, because sometimes we are just like at a crossroad, as I was telling in our audience in your bio. And it's just like, well, do I turn right? Do I turn left? Do I go straight? So come on, tell us. What do you think?
Yes. So look, to me, getting unstuck is a little bit, I like to keep it as simple as I can. And I kind of made the acronym Get Unstuck.
Okay.
And seeing lots of things, lots of it can be really complex. And I actually find a lot of times if you just do a few basic things, often you'll get unstuck and like be able to keep moving, sort of thing. So the first kind of thing is I always like to get people to kind of be grateful for what they have.
Yeah.
I like to write a list, like 5 or 6 things. A friend of mine likes to do he just likes to lay in bed and make it like half a dozen to 10 things before he gets out of bed, sort of thing. So like, you can do it lots of ways. I often do it.
Is it every day? Do you do it every day?
I do it every day, but like just sometimes, if you get stuck, you can just create a list right there on the spot about, and sometimes it's just silly things like, oh, I'm grateful for the desk and the road and the trees and the sun and hey, the coaching that I'm listening to or whatever's, the car that's taking me places. So it's just can kind of get into start switching your mindset around about where you're up
because
to.
you usually we are always wanting more, which is not bad, but we don't have a look at what we've got. So and we've got so much. I mean, being healthy, being able to be with friends, or listen, you are on the other side of the planet, and I can talk to you. Look at that, thanks to the internet. So,
thanks for technology. Yeah, that's right.
True. So it's true. We need to sometimes pause, take a break, and just have a look at what we've got, and just appreciate what we've got.
And then it makes it kind of easier to start thinking about what's happening with the rest of us, sort of thing. So. Once you're kind of into that space, you can start working onto the next to the next bits, I suppose.
Okay. So what is the next bit?
The E in get is everyday 1% stuff. So what could you do every day that would move you 1% higher up? For instance, you might do meditation in the morning or yoga, or, hey, just put away the dishes. And, you know, it's not an instant thing. I know one of my everyday 1% things that I'm trying to work on at the moment is to do the dishes after we've had the meal. And sometimes we can get super busy, and we get up and do things and then we don't do it. And then you wake up in the morning and there's a pile of dishes. So just because we're a coach doesn't mean to say, but the intention about being what everyday 1% thing you could do is there. So the dishes are top of mind about, I could get the dishes done, and now they're starting to get done more and more. And,
it's like creating a habit,
And it might just be a small thing. Even just the gratitude list, that would be the first bit that I'd start with 1%, sort of what everyday 1% thing could you do? And it might be small and or small things are really good because then they just, can keep them going, sort of thing. Get up in the morning and read a page of a book.
Yes.
I mean, I like to read, so get up in the morning and, it's now like read 10 pages of the book because I'm enjoying it. But it starts with small things.
Yeah, and something we enjoy, because if we do it like being forced to do it, we're not going to carry on. So it's something we really like doing. For example, I get up in the morning, I put the alarm on half an hour before I'm going to get up, and I just listen to relaxing music in bed and just like thinking, okay, what am I going to do today, which will be a bit different. So that's my 1%.
See, look, people are using it everywhere.
Exactly.
And they do stuff, and it's just the little things that you might be able to think about doing. Like at night time, I kind of started just cleaning my desk a little bit. And it doesn't take very long when you just do it and just quickly put the books and pens and stuff away. So when you wake up in the morning, the desk is ready to go.
Yes.
And thinking, only took 10 seconds, but there's little 1% things that can start moving you elsewhere. And obviously, sometimes you get the really big things like, hey, listen to a course, or, as I talk to my friend, do one push-up and increase it every day until you get to 100.
But just like doing something slowly but surely and constantly, because otherwise it's not going to have an impact. So definitely. And when you are talking about clearing your desk, I'm looking at mine and I'm thinking, oh wow, I need to clear my desk. And it's a way as well to clear your mind. So you just like keep things in order, and it's the same in your mind. So when you arrive in the morning, when you see your desk like a normal desk, you just think that, well, that's it. Everything is clear. So it's like when you clean your house, when you throw things away, it's not only doing the physical thing, it's just there as well. So
and don't get me wrong, I have got some kind of mess going around on the edge, but if you ask me to find something, I can tell you where it is.
I would say it's an organized mess.
Yeah, organized chaos. I know where things are, but just tidying up a little bit, especially the main working area where I want to work. Sometimes come in and stack books on top, or put my bag down, or do something, or get something out and leave it out, and then I just like, can I push that to the side so I've got a space for tomorrow?
Brilliant. So what about the T?
The T is for talk, and specifically self-talk.
Okay.
So it wants to be kind of positive. I tend to use affirmations in the morning and the evening when I've woken up and when I go to bed, just about reprogramming your brain on stuff. So you can find affirmations on all sorts of things. You can use it for I'm using it for my coaching about, hey, I find 2 clients a day, and I talk to lots of people. I have these affirmations that I just use that, and then when things happen, I change them, or sometimes the negative talk starts in my head, and you think, whoa, I need to reprogram that. That's a good thing to kind of notice that it's coming up. And it takes time. So, but generally there's a chatterbox in your head. So I try and make him a positive chatterbox as opposed to a negative chatterbox.
I agree. Yeah, because it has an impact on how we see things. And we have to be, or we choose to be positive and get rid of that critical inner voice and just say, hey, let's have a talk between us, and I'm going to win because I'm going to be positive today, so you're not going to win. So yeah, definitely. Just like
and the easiest way is to kind of have a series of affirmations that you just say all the time, that you're not thinking, oh, what do I need to say? Oh, I just run my affirmations about, hey, I'm healthy and fit, and I do my exercises, and you're like, your brain kind of gets geared to it, and then you like, if you're having the negative critic come up, you're not looking around going, I'm not going to do anything. You just go, I've got some self-talk for you already. Just ding.
Exactly. Well, we can get inspired because on the internet you can find some affirmations, but I think get the inspiration from those affirmations, but write your own, so it does resonate better. So I agree. And
definitely personalize them to you. But sometimes I find ones that I start with, and then as I'm going along, I like to change it. I sometimes add other words into it. It might be, I'm really good at martial arts, and then you think, well, I want to take the good out and make that great or amazing or extraordinary, or so then I start playing with the words because I can.
Yeah, using powerful words. So it has a better impact, and you can move quicker from that space of critic to a space of being positive. So definitely. Right, so we had a look at get. What about unstuck then? What about the you?
So the you is all about your self-care. And obviously sometimes it can just be little things like, hey, have a rest for 5 minutes and get up and dance to a song. Because sometimes being stuck is not, hey, I'm super stuck and this isn't going away. Sometimes it's just, hey, get up and get your brain to do something else for 5 minutes and come back to it.
Yeah. Sometimes we need to just get something different, so we just rewire a little bit our mind. So I understand, and I talked about that before in another talk show. When I was working in sales, sometimes in the office I would see my colleagues staring outside and out the window, and what was going on outside. I was just like, what are they doing? And then I learned that for them it was a way to just have a break from what was going on in the office and just get some more how can I say that, more energy, because they had a break and they were looking, and they got even inspired looking at something outside and just like, oh yeah, but I could do that for work. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. So I'll try doing it. I'll try to do it as well, and just pause and just think, okay, blank mind, receive what's coming, and just enjoy it, and then start again. So that's true. And dancing, I was washing the dishes. You were talking about the dishes earlier. And on Saturday night, I was just like, oh, I'm going to put music on. And I started dancing in the kitchen, and my dogs looked at me just like, what's going on? So I just needed like to have a break after washing the dishes, and I just thought, well, I'm going to dance in the kitchen. Why not?
Exactly. And obviously, look, sometimes you need some longer than 5 minute kind of self-care, you know, like, you know, have a hot shower, relax in the bath, go out for a run, sit out near the campfire or whatever. Obviously, if you're only doing self-care, you may need extra help. Talk to a friend, get a coach, see a counselor.
Well, that's why we're here. That's why we're here. To help people. So they don't get into the extreme, but they just get the right balance between self-care and carrying on with the day-to-day life. So definitely. So that's
and you don't want it to take over, and like you want to take care of yourself. But yeah, if that's all you're doing, and if you're only doing self-care, then you're probably not moving very far in anything.
Exactly. So that was.
But you usually find if you are taking care of yourself, you usually find yourself a little bit more resourceful.
Yes. The thing
kind of
is,
stop and think, and then go, oh, I can do this or get around that. And
I feel like we need to be in motion all the time, even if we are in emotion, even if we are sitting and having like a moment and a break, our mind is still in emotion, even if we don't realize it. So we need to be in emotion to get inspired, to have new ideas, meet new people. We never know, going for a run and we bump into somebody who can help us, I don't know, with our new product, with our marketing. We don't know. We don't really know what life is going to throw at us. So being in motion and just like going for a run, going to do aerobics or yoga, whatever we like, but just self-care and just looking after ourselves. Because if we don't have energy, we won't be able to carry on.
Exactly.
So what about N?
So N is all about naming the rut that you're in, noting that down, and then creating new habits and new stories. And like, for instance, the weekend I got a new email for an organization that basically wiped out all my outlook for my business stuff. And then, of course, so I took a break. I kind of came back and I tried a bunch of stuff. And like the good thing about naming it, I knew what it was. There was some frustration. Coaches are human and we get frustrated, and especially when you're trying to get technology going that's supposed to work. But yeah, because it was named, I could also then look for stuff. So I could look about how to fix it, and I could talk to some of my IT friends and I could say, this is what I'm having. And they're like, and then one of the guys kind of named it and he says, it sounds like you've got something or other. And then I was thinking, well, I can look that up now. I can't remember what he was telling me now, but yeah, it was like, it sounds like you've got a conflict between this and this. And of course, his first thing was, have you restarted your computer? And I'm like, yes. And it's not working.
And you managed to put it back? And you managed
because it was named and I noted it down, then I could kind of tell myself a new story. So the first story that I was kind of telling myself was technology, and I'm no good at technology. And I'm like, well, I am really. I just needed to know the right things to kind of reset and do stuff. And then it's like, but it was kind of a 5-hour journey to get to that point. But needed some self-care, but the footy was on. So
so really, how would you say to rewrite a story? How would you tell our audience the different steps to rewrite?
Well, once you've kind of named what it is, then there's generally a story that goes with it.
Okay.
And then you can then use some of the affirmations that you got. You can, because you know what it is, you can then say, the technology is frustrating, but I'm improving. So now we can change just what we're saying in our head. And then you're going, well, if I'm improving, then I can find a solution for it. And I can look it up and find out dramas with Outlook and where it was, and it was just a funny little, hey, I needed to slide this thing across that says I can use both accounts. But of course that wasn't set, and of course if you don't know where to look for it, it's a long journey. Yeah. You find somebody who knows, and they just go, "I'll go into this menu," and it's there, and you're like, "Ah, good."
That's it. So basically, name it, looking at the different options yourself. If you can't find the options, then ask for somebody else, ask for help, and then at the end, just like think or realize what have you learned out of the situation that actually you can manage, you can do it. So
and I mean, you're a coach, so you know that's kind of kind of stuff that we do. You know, I speak to people all the time, and you end up just getting them to reframe what they're doing because they were able to tell me what the story was. And a lot of times they can get a lot of people have lots of emotion attached to the story when really it was just like, hey, I've got a problem with my computer and now I'm frustrated, so now I'm doing this, and now it's doing extra stuff. You're going, well, what's really happening? And you're going, well, I got a problem with my computer. And you're going, great. You know, so sometimes you kind of think about what it is. You can find this is what's happening, not the whole story that you don't need. As humans, we're really good at making up stories about something.
And started as well. I mean, we're talking about technology. My mum is like that. She could actually throw the computer through the window when she gets really upset and frustrated. And I'm just like, just calm down. Just like, if you don't do it this time, do it tomorrow, and it might happen because you'll have a click something which will help you to do it. But it's true that we need to just stop and see and stop like, you know, that's my fault. It's just like, okay, just have a look. Why? Maybe I'm scared of the computer. Maybe because I made a mistake once. Then I will be crap all the time, which is not true. So it's just once, and we need to learn from our mistakes. So and that's naming it and rewriting and creating new thoughts, new habits, and that's when we're going to grow as a person as well. So,
definitely.
So what about S?
So S is kind of one of the things that I do all the time, and that's set goals.
Okay.
So I'm a moving forward and goal success coach, but I kind of deal in more than just set goals, which is a lot of times I deal with people getting unstuck. Sometimes people don't even realize they are unstuck. I think it was my mentor. He would always give me 3 questions, and he'd say, okay, what's your goal? And then he'd say, what's your action steps? And then he says, how can I help you? Because then you'd run into a series of obstacles for whatever that goal is, and it didn't matter whether it was small or big. You were like, okay, and then it was like, well, how do I get over whatever's going to come up?
True.
So yeah, I like helping people set their goals, and then I like helping them kind of overcome the obstacles that get in the way. And you know, often it's working on limiting beliefs and stuff like that, which helps them get unstuck, of course. But if they've got something to work to, it's kind of much easier. Like, hey, I want to get the computer working.
There is like a vision, and we know where we are, we know where we want to be, and then we can move on and step by step. So that's true. And having a coach like you helping all the steps of the way, and that's what I do as well with my clients, is just like, yeah, I'm holding your hand, but the actions, you've got to do them yourself. So I can't do them.
That's right. Let me help you make a map, but definitely you have to walk your own path.
Exactly, definitely. So what about T?
Well, T, I've actually kind of spoken that already. So T is take action. So
Okay.
once you've got goals set, then you can obviously take action. The big one is figuring out what the first step is, because sometimes people brainstorm up a bunch of ideas and they're working out what really should be step 10, but they're not at step 1. And it's kind of like, you know, trying to get to, like Sydney, Australia, but not getting in the taxi cab to drive to the airport. It's a little bit difficult.
Yes.
But once you kind of know your goals and you've got a bunch of steps, then obviously you need to be in action. So nothing kind of happens if you're not taking any action.
Well, that's true. As I was saying, being in the move, like motion all the time, because otherwise you stay stuck in the same space, same position, same habits. So take action. Sometimes there are scary actions, but that's great because we grow so much at the end because we've learned something, well, different. Stepping or expanding our comfort zone sometimes can be scary, but at the end it's magical. So it's worth it.
Yes.
What about you?
So you just kind of mentioned that bit is about staying in your comfort zone. You was about uncovering limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of the fun things that I like to work on with people. Often there's just small things. Could be a lot of the stuff they say in their head is just keeping them in their comfort zone. Like, for instance, the computer we were talking about earlier, if I was in my comfort zone, I wouldn't have been looking for a solution or talking to friends or trying to figure it out. I would have just but I had a goal, which was to get my emails back because I was trying to watch some webinars and they had lots of PowerPoints on my phone because that's where I could access the information from. So I kind of got resourceful. I was doing the stuff that I was looking for. It just wasn't the best that I could do, but it was better than nothing. I was in action, getting the information that I was looking for and stuff, but just it would have been better on my tablet or my computer where I could. Some of the PowerPoints were really small on my phone.
Of course. But I feel, I don't know if it's the same for you. With my clients, I feel that the common limiting belief is I can't do it.
Yes. Or the big one I usually run into for lots of people, especially for big goals, is I'm not enough.
Yeah, I'm not good enough. That's true as well. So yeah, that's those two big beliefs. And sometimes it comes from, well, stupid comments we heard when we were young, or could be a teacher, could be in our environment as well, in our parents or friends, and that gets stuck, and or seeing somebody trying and failing several times and thinking, oh well, if he can't do it, I can't do it either.
Yeah. So and it's so easy to do. So I remember breaking one of mine, and basically I was playing Australian rules football. I went to kick this long ball, say about 25, 30 meters. I was probably about 12 or 13, so not really old. And it kind of came off the side of my boot and didn't go anywhere. And, of course, all your friends kind of laugh at you and make funny jokes. But I kind of made that mean I'm not really good at kicking long distances. So in some ways that was helpful because I kind of became really good at kicking short distances and tackling and doing other things. But somewhere along the line, I kind of dropped the I'm not good at kicking long to I'm just not good. And it was just that long. And when you get back to rewriting the story, this is what really happened. I kicked the ball, it came off the side of my foot. End of story. Yeah. We just as human beings are meaning-making machines and made it mean something that it really wasn't. And then, of course, that affected the rest of your life. And that's how easy a limiting belief can be.
Yes.
Can be made that you really want to break.
Yes, definitely. And in your case, when you're talking about kicking the ball, at least you tried. Okay. We don't do it every time. We don't succeed every time, but the beauty is trying. So many people don't even try. So and that's why we don't tell the kids at school they have to be perfect. They have to do everything perfectly. Well, no, perfection doesn't exist. And if you try and try and try, then you will reach that excellent level, not perfection, but instead of, that's something, in the French system, it's like that, where we've got to be absolutely perfect in every topic. And I'm just like, no, we can't, because we're human, and it's like a learning curve. So, okay, you fail one day, but tomorrow you won't. So just go for it, carry on, just like stand up and do it again, over and over again. So that's the way I see it, and that would eliminate so many limiting beliefs. So that would be great.
Yeah, and look, a lot of times until you run up against things and obstacles or are doing stuff, you don't even notice that you have them. It's just kind of your standard operating procedure. And people are like, oh, I don't talk to anyone at work, or I can't make any sales, or and I mean, what if we taught little babies who are trying to learn to walk is always the example that people use. What if we just said, well, you've fallen down twice, stop now. Like, no, we just keep going until you get it.
Exactly. Just try different ways, and if it doesn't work one way, what can you change to make it work? I mean, it might not work the second time. So what else can you do to make it work the third time? So it's true. When we learn as a child to walk, we fall so many times. It's the same riding a bike. So many times I fell, and I just thought, no, I'm just going to ride that bike. So and after a while I did. So it's just life. Sometimes we don't get things the first time, and we just need to shake a little bit, stand up, and just say, okay, next.
and it's so easy to do, even on just little things about, hey, I know for myself, for coaching, like doing 20 minutes of study of coaching a day, like, is now a habit, but it wasn't to start with. And friends are like, oh, well, how are you learning? Because most of my stuff is online learning. And a few things like that. And I'm like, oh, I don't have the discipline to do that. And I'm like, neither did I to start with. I just, but this is a story that you're telling in your head. You can't do it this way. And then they're all like, I'm like, do you watch YouTube? Oh, yeah, I watch YouTube all the time. Are you watching stuff to learn? Yeah. Well, there you go. You're doing online learning. They're like, oh, really? And it kind of changes their thinking, which is the C for this, is change your thinking. Like, how can you reframe this? How can it be different? How can it be done a different way? And I know as a coach, I have a big toolkit, and someone says, oh, well, that's not working for me. And I'm like, great, I've got a bunch of tools. I'll just keep pulling tools out until it works. Or you tell me to go away.
Well, that's great, because we are all different. So some tools will work with some people or won't. So and you need to be to have different tools to personalize your coaching. So that's true. But usually it's that we know the answers. It's just because we don't know how to find them, and that's where we come in. So
look, I just recommend to people, and lots of people doing it nowadays, but reading a book, not a fiction book, some personal growth and development, or a book in your field, if on whatever. Obviously there's plenty of YouTubes and websites and all sorts of stuff where you can learn skills, and a lot of that learning is all about changing your brain.
Yes.
And you're like, huh?
Just taking the step, to just say, okay, I'm reading and for an hour something on personal development, I don't know, self-love, or just like setting goals and achieving them, just that. And suddenly you're going to have the opportunity to view a different approach to that problem or that situation, and then decide what's good for you and what you can apply to your life.
Yeah, and look, I wouldn't start with an hour, although I like to read, so like an hour for me is like, woo, party time. Start with one page or one sentence even.
But no, for somebody who doesn't like reading or who doesn't take the time to read, an hour is quite a lot. So starting slowly and surely. Maybe it's not an hour, maybe it's half an hour, or maybe a chapter, I don't know, but it's just like making sure that it's a habit, that it's constant, not just like for a month and then the second month, phew, going back to zero. So yeah.
And even listening things like, turn the radio off in the car and listen to a podcast. You can listen to Isabella's podcast and learn cool stuff.
Yeah.
And there's plenty around. And watch YouTubes and learn stuff. I like to get I've got kids, so I actually find that sometimes the best learning I learn on any subject is go to the kids area in the library, because it's all simplified, and unless you're studying for your doctorate on something that you need like vast quantities of information, sometimes you can just look up stuff and think, oh, wow, that's really cool. Now I know how the human brain works, or all about pirates, because it's nearly Pirate Day and that's the best day of the year.
Yeah, anything to grow, and something you like, and something I received today from a friend saying to me, do something you like every day. And that's something to get unstuck as well. Just something you really like. Change the way you think and just think, okay, today I'm going to do something different. Something I like. So going for a walk, I don't know, go horse riding, do something, watching, and I'm so fortunate I can talk to you and you're in Australia. So that's something fantastic for me today. That's going to be on my journal. I'm grateful for the talk show with Stan. So
awesome. See, we're using the stuff already.
Exactly. And that's why I encourage my clients to do as well. It's just like having a look at what we've got and changing the way they are thinking. So what about K, the last letter of
K I have is keep paddling. Okay. So sometimes if you're stuck, it's you kind of need to just keep on working your way through it. Obviously, if you're changing the way that you're thinking and some of the other smaller steps, sometimes it's a lot easier to keep paddling, because it might be tough. And it's especially tough to start new habits. People always talk about, oh, look, it takes 21 days to start a habit. But I mean, if you're driving to work the same every day for 10 years, the same way, and someone shows you a shortcut, how fast will you take the shortcut? So change actually happens that quick. Just we have to keep remembering to do it, which is why you're going to get stuff. And obviously, if you can remember to do it, then it's easier to do.
Mm-hmm. I like to change, that's my nature. I don't like routine. So going to work, for example, I would definitely think, okay, I'm going to change and see, maybe it's going to be longer, but it doesn't matter, because I don't know what's going to happen. I might stop at the traffic light and suddenly somebody will talk to me, or I don't know, I will see like an advert. I would like to join a club or something. I don't know. It's just like trying to change habits in a way that you get more visibility and more exposure to what's in the world and what the universe will throw at you. So just expand your comfort zone and what you like, and to grow, make a habit. So we've been through all the get unstuck, those two words. So anything else you can tell us, Stan, about being or getting unstuck?
No, that's about it. I think if you're following some of this stuff, then I'm not saying you won't get stuck, because you will, but it's just easy to kind of come back to that as you go. Yeah, and it was just like, great, let me find something that I really enjoyed discussing and talking, and kind of the journey that I take lots of my clients on. Or they come in and they start with me, and we kind of start with goal setting, but goal setting is the first bit, because I want to get to some of the other stuff. And I really like working with, as I said, positive one people. So I kind of like working with people who are interested in in changing their brain and pushing their comfort zones and a few things like that.
Yeah, because if they want
obviously, if they don't want to change, well,
if they don't want to change, there's nothing we can do, as we were saying earlier. I mean, the actions, we don't take them. We are only guides. We guide them. We are there to help them on the way, but we can't do the actions. We can't do the work. So definitely. So let's wrap up. So be grateful. Every day, 1% stuff. Talk to yourself. Self-care. Naming the problem. Set goals. Obviously, take actions. Uncover limiting belief. Change the way you think, and keep paddling.
That's it.
Fantastic. Right. So thank you very much, Stan. And I know that you've got a free workshop introduction on the 28th of September. Tell us a little bit about.
So I run what's called my Pathfinder program. So Pathfinder program is kind of a intensive goal setting workshop, and we do a lot of mind stuff, and we work on some of those limiting beliefs. So it's a 6-week course. Yeah. But lots of people don't know what coaching is, or how it's going to be. So I've got a free intro that starts on the 28th of September. Okay. It'll be 7:30 Australian Western Standard Time, because I'm in Western Australia. And then the course starts the week after on the 5th of October, and it runs for 6 weeks. Okay. And we kind of work our way through from, hey, I don't have any goals, or I've got very small goals, to, hey, I've got a very large bucket list of goals, and some of them have got action steps, and you learn goal setting on the way through. But we also look at a lot of empowering techniques, working on our limiting beliefs, and we take some trips. I like to use what's called timeline therapy. So we take some trips into the future, and we take some trips into the past, and work on stuff for you so you can change your brain and have an extraordinary life.
Fantastic. That's great. So I'm going to put your email in the description of the Facebook Live, so people can talk to you, reach out, and join your free intro and the program, the workshop, the 6-week workshop. So so you can help a lot of people to get unstuck. So, and set goals and reach their goals. So yes. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Stan. And so you come back anytime you want. You're welcome to come back.
That sounds good.
So for a different topic, if you want to. I mean, I was so happy to have you on board. And next week, my guest speaker will be Perry Mondadnici, and he's going to talk to us and give us some tips on how can video writing help entrepreneurs to shine and propel themselves online. So how to do videos, how to write the content for videos. So he's going to give us some tips all the way from Canada. And if you haven't watched the other talk shows, the previous talk shows, well, you know that you can do so on my YouTube channel, Phoenix Coaching and Training. And thank you ever so much, Stan. So look out for some information for next week's talk show. And so I'll see you next week. Thank you very much, Stan. So
thank you very much for having me.
Bye-bye.